Hey up! Come on! Let's have it! Alright! Mash Baxter's rambling, whoa, whoa. Mash Baxter's rambling, whoa, whoa. Mash Baxter's rambling, stuff to see and songs to sing, whoa. Alright! Now then, ramblers. Right, special is this one. A to Z of beautiful places of interest in Scunthorpe. Yeah. A to Z. Apart from maybe X and Z. So, climb on board. Let's have a ramble. Don't worry about him. He's fine. See you in a bit. Let's get ready to ramble. All you've got to do is open your heart and open your mind. Come on. What a knobhead. A is for Atkinsons Warren. Ackies Warren. So named after Walter Atkinson, who was the gamekeeper for Lord Sheffield of the aristocracy. Wah wah. Yeah, Ackies Warren. Beautiful, 33 hectares. There's wood carvings out of forest. You've got a pigeon there. Look at these up here. Look here, look. Come on. Come on, if we're lucky, he might get his knob out. Hello. Hello, do you want to be on telly? Yeah, it's Mash Baxter's Rambling.
I know. I've watched it. It's shit.
You what?
It's shit.
Right. Last chance you're getting have been a film star. But the other thing I noticed down here, look at this. I like this. Oh, nearly stumbled. I like this, where people go out the way to make nature happen. And this is not to do with the council, I don't think. Look, if you just look closely, people have put bird feeders on, look. No. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Mash's fat balls. No, they're not mine. Mine are fuller than that. So yeah, it's really nice. Little tray there for some seeds. So that is Ackies Warren. Get on it. A, part 2. Ashbyville. Ashbyville. Once known as Anchor Village. Do you know why I know that? Because I've done my research and I've got a folder and shit. I've got a clipboard. So, back in the day, more than 12,000 people on the payroll of Scunthorpe Steelworks. There was more jobs than there were people. So they built a village in there. Yeah, before it got flooded, there was a village. I remember distinctly. Little porter cabins, rows and rows and rows of it, like a fucking concentration camp. But what else did it serve? I mean, it's a nature reserve now and it's beautiful. Great, lovely place to walk around. Too many dogs like shitting everywhere, but it's still very nice. But what do I remember about Ashbyville by my recollection growing up? Football. 14 pitches. And you knew it was an indication of how shit you were if you were right down at the far end on a Sunday and you were on pitch 13 or pitch 14, which I invariably was. But I'm not stupid, me, you see, so I used to come down on my mum's Honda Melody, which had a basket on the front to put the ball in, and on the back I had a top box where I kept half-time refreshments, like, what would it have been back in the day? Probably tins of Hofmeister. We used to follow the bear at half-time. Far corner over there used to be Scunthorpe Stag Speedway. Yeah, before they went up yon place. But Ashbyville's, it's absolutely brilliant. I tell you what, I will try and catch it a bit when I walk round. There was a swan on a nest. Having little swanlets, or whatever the fuck they're called. Goslings, is it? I don't know. I don't know everything. My clipboard doesn't tell me everything. But another thing that happened down Ashbyville, let's have a look. The free festival that the council put on, it ran for 3 years, and it had the likes of, let's have a look, It Bites, Boomtown Rats, the Pogues, the House Martins. Yeah, free festival. That shit don't happen anymore, does it? Not a prayer. Anyway, that's Ashbyville. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, particularly today. I mean, Jesus, you're sort of third week in October here and it's about 15, 16 degrees. Stunning. Shame you're at work, isn't it? See you in a bit. Look at that. Swan on the nest, look. How the fuck did he build that? He ain't even got any arms. Jesus, I struggle to put a shelf up. They've made a fucking 4-poster. That's nature happening right there. Look at it. Beautiful. Just behind it is her bloke. Look. Oh. She's heard me. All right. Attenborough's going back in his box. Magnificent. Oh, look at this. Just walking back along Ashbyville. And this little fella's not very well, look. Baby chaffinch, and he's too near where the dogs are walking, so I'm going to take him over here and put him further in. Let him go back into the wild. Are you ready, little fella? Are you ready, little fella? Go on, go somewhere. Dogs will have you or whatever. Go on, little fella. That's it. Got more chance of living there, mate. B is for Botsford Back. Oh yeah, Botty Beck. So called. Originally, it was called Buddlesford. Yeah, Buddlesford. And Botsford took its name from the beck. Run this one by you, because I've got my clippy again. Okay. Buddlesford translates from ford by the house or building. Ford being a tract of shallow water. Yeah. It's lovely this. It's about 1.5 miles long, Botsford Back. And there's a visitor centre at top end, but I'm not going there because I live in Scunthorpe. I'm not a visitor, am I? But look at that. I don't know whether you can tell. I got out the van and I've walked uphill. And the fucking water is going uphill. I don't know how that works. I'm still a little bit worried about the chaffinch, I'll be honest. But no, it's lovely. It's lovely. The water is pretty clean as well. It's flowing, it's pretty clean. There's no shite in it. And do you know what I've seen as well? I've seen some bulrushes. I do like bulrushes. They're up there with one of my favourite fauna. But it's one of the few places where you can come and use the word meandering. Because that, me old comfies, is meandering. Botsford Back. Lovely. Come and have a walk. Get amongst it. C has got to be Central Park. And the centrepiece of Central Park, built by none other than the younger brother of Capability Brown, who wasn't as good as him, not so capable Brown. Yeah, nice. Somebody's lost a football there, look. But wow, look at the colours this time of year. It's just autumnal, isn't it? It's beautiful. Look, kick the leaves and stuff. Have a walk round. There's a park up there. Sadly, you don't have the paddling pool nor the steamroller anymore. You don't have the aviary, none of that shit. But it's a great, great open space. And every Sunday, I think it is, they have fun runs. Because there's two words that fucking don't go together for people with no life or vans. But Central Park, Scunthorpe's masterpiece. Stunning. Can Can you hear that? Can you hear that? That's leaves blowing in the wind. What a great sound. It's right up there with like a shoreline. But I also like this, look. Oh, I absolutely love autumn. I just like it when shit dies. Alrighty, D is for Dawes Lane. Now just on the right here is now the Tarmax company of Santon. But years ago, it used to tickle me. It was called Scunthorpe Slag and it had a signpost. Wow, I mean, they don't have signposts now, they just all hang around on West Street. Reasonably priced as well, I think, anyway. Up in the distance, you can just make out the 3 blast furnaces. There used to be 4, named after the famous queens. Yeah, I love it down here. There's something about industrial areas that I just find fascinating and beautiful at the same time as well. Something about it, don't know. But we're going to now enter Dawes Lane, which used to be a private road, but you was allowed through it for some reason because it was the only thoroughfare through to Santon. So Dawes Lane is, even if I'm off to Barton and I can go on the main road, I still tend to come this way because I just like being that close to industrial stuff without actually getting fucking mucky. You know what I mean? And up round the corner here, there was a company back in the day called Firth Brown's Castings. Now that's where my dad used to work. And on a Saturday, we had to wait outside for about 2 hours till he finished his shift and then scoot off in our Renault 14 to Elland Road to watch the Champions of Europe. But another interesting fact, coming up, Master's Fact Hunt. Dawes Lane was the original site for Scunthorpe and Frodingham Railway. Yeah, light railway, which used to take people to the rest of the world. There you go, look. Dawes Lane footpath cycleway. Firth Brown's on the right. It's just nice. It's nice because, but you got to keep your windows shut because it stinks. Oh, you've got sulphur and God knows what. And I don't know. I think anybody who's born and bred in Scully, you've got a bit of a soft spot for Dawes Lane. You've got to have. It's something in the water, I reckon. And we'll just keep on here for a second because I love this little bridge up here because it's all the original brickwork. You'll see it as we go through. And then when we get to the top, that's where you're entering Scunny. So come on, traffic lights. Change. I'll slow right down so you can see the brickwork. Maybe some of your granddads actually made that bridge. I don't know. Write in and tell me. But let's have a look. Here we go. Look at that. Centuries of staining and repointing and Anyway, it's maybe just me, but I find Dawes Lane beautiful. So that's D, Dawes Lane. Check it out. E is for Everest Road playing fields. So-called named after the 80s double glazing company, featuring Ted Moult with his catchphrase, "Fit the best, fit Everest." Very important here, look. Very, very important. No golfing. No. But no, it's a lovely area and very, very important for the people of Ashby when they feel the need to get away from the hustle and bustle of Ashby High Street and the chance of getting mowed over by shop mobility. They come here because you can't get much traction on mobility there, but you've got kids play areas, which obviously I can't film too closely, but it's just a nice green area. Lovely place to get away from it and have a walk. Everest Road playing field. Lovely. But don't golf. F is for Ingham Footbridge. Wow, this joins Brumby to town. Built 1929. Originally it was 400 foot long, yeah? But in 1954 it partially collapsed. So they rebuilt it, added a further 220 foot, making it 620 feet in total. At a total cost of 35,000 fucking pounds. Anyway, let's go have a look a bit closer. Come on. Oh, look at it. You could be in Cold War Eastern Europe. Look at it. It's magnificent. I always imagined like this would be where two spies would meet to hand over like, I don't know, a USB stick or some secret life-saving serum. Yeah, only for one of them not to make it to the end, because he'll cob him over onto the tracks underneath the 907 to Manchester. But thankfully, there's a strike on, so he'd probably just hobble away shouting something like, "You bastard, I'm going to get you, and get your wife and do sexual things to her." Or maybe that's just me. But no, I tell you what, whenever you got to the end of that bridge, you always felt as though you'd achieved like a fucking level on Tetris or something. Love it. Ingham Footbridge. Magnificent. G is for Glanford Park. Yeah, not the fucking Sands venue, Glanford Park. Opened on the 14th of August 1988 by none other than Princess Alexandra. Capacity originally was 11,190. Wow! But then they seated the away end, and capacity currently stands at 9,088 because they seated the away end. But Glanford Park, seriously, support your local team. Unless Leeds are playing, obviously. Glanford Park. G. A little bit more of Glanford Park. Let's have a look. Who's on there? Who's on there? There's Bry. Alex Calvo Garcia. Look at Crosser. He was happy that day, wasn't he? He was happy. Matt Sparrow. Oh, man. Iron, iron. Okay, I've said it once, I'll say it again. H is for Henderson Avenue Circle, roundabout. Okay, remember your highway code. Roundabout. Go left. Not if you're in Scunny, you can go where the fucking hell you like. Yeah, it's just an absolute quirk of Scunny that you can do as you please on this roundabout. It's absolutely nuts. I love it. Sometimes I don't even need to come uptown, but I just fancy feeling as though you're breaking the law. So Hendy Ave roundabout it is. I'd love to go straight across the middle of it, but hey ho. Get on it. If you've never done it, a mate of mine still comes up. I've just been speaking to him a couple of minutes ago, Chinner, and he still turns left because he says it just don't feel right. Oh, that's the point of doing it, isn't it? Because you're not supposed to, you do it. Hendy Ave, round and round we go. The letter I. Now, I is probably the most important letter out of this whole A to Z of Scunthorpe, because Ian. Ian, yeah. And without Ian, you wouldn't be watching this shit, would you? No, you'd probably be, I don't know, drinking yourself to death or self-harming or something. Anyway, so the letter I, Ian. Gotta go. I've got to go find Jay. That's not rating head, lad. That's not rate. You crackers. Now J is for Jubilee Park. Massively, massively important. No kids, so don't say you can't film in a park. Massively important back in the day. Picture it, late 80s. Okay. Now Lincoln Imp is just over in that direction. And over in that direction, as the crow flies, about half a mile away, there's a Chinese called Lies, which is now an Indian. Now brilliant. In theory, half a mile as the crow flies, but if the crow's been on the piss all weekend and been drinking Thunderbird and the taxi won't pick you up because you did a run of the week before, this was a shortcut. This was a shortcut to Lies Chinese. And the only reason we went there was the pubs used to shut quite early on a Sunday. So if you got to the Chinese and you ordered ha koi chi, you could buy drinks for the duration of your meal. Fucking genius. Jubilee Park. Many a night stumbled across here. I think I slept in it a couple of times as well. Lovely though, lovely. You got a skater park. Apparently that's called a moon base. And a junior kids climbing area. Beautiful. K is for Kingsway Golf Course, or that was Kingsway Golf Course. It's now a fabulous nature reserve, massive expanse of land. But as a golf course, built in 1981 and opened by Scunthorpe's very own Tony Jacklin. Now back in the day when this was a golf course, you'd play football, you'd get pissed. You'd go out Saturday, you'd get pissed. Sunday morning was this. Okay, there was a club out, little club shop there, and then that was the track you walked up. It's said that the 12th, the Golden Bell at Augusta National, is supposed to be the most nerve-wracking and card-wrecking golf hole in the world. What a load of bollocks. Picture this. Sunday morning, 9:30, 10ish, meet all your mates. This was the first tee. Okay? So you're there. You're there. Alright if there's only a couple of you, but there was a wooden fence round here with about 50 fucking idiots all ranting and waiting for you to spanner it. I swear to you, anybody in the know, this was the hardest golf shot in the world. Wanker, you're gonna spanner it, you're fucking useless. Kingsway Golf Course. And over there, which was the 9th fairway, very good hunting ground for magic mushrooms. But hey, that's a story for another day. Laters. Okie dokie. L is for library. Built 1974. Now this was serious cutting edge with its symmetry and ornate brickwork. And back in the day, other than its one distinguishable feature, had no windows. Not one window. Which was a nightmare if you were like really into reading and suffered from claustrophobia. But yeah, Scunny Library. What sadly is missing there, back in the day when it was first built, there was a wonderful smoked glass pyramid entrance, and it was the only glass in the whole place. Yeah, it was like the Louvre, or whatever it's called. Scunny Library, beautiful, the fountain of knowledge. Right, I'm at the back of the library there. Look, still got the ornate brickwork, but I'm standing roughly where the Furnace Arms used to be, Bentley's. And now, this is quite nice, they've turned it into a communal wash your kids area, complete with LED lighting, which is nice, isn't it? You know, with the rising costs, just bring your kid out here, give them a quick wash, chuck some matey on them, jobs are good. Yeah. Church Square. A big, expensive expanse of fuck all. M is for Scunthorpe Memorial Gardens. Built and opened in 1885, and the last burial was 1988. And at the time, I'll show you in a minute, this area had over 3,000 graves. But the cemetery was cleared of memorials using the powers under the Disused Burial Grounds Act of 1884. It's a classic. Yeah, so most of the memorials, some of the memorials rather, that were considered quite rare, they were placed in the three corners, which we'll go to, of the cemetery. Yeah, now this is right in the middle of town, seriously. So many people from Scunny don't even know this place exists. Great place to walk dogs, there's benches and everything. Show you around in a bit. But if you're going to park up, this is a word of warning. Your closest entrance is on West Street. Now you've got to be really careful, because sometimes when you park your van on West Street, the ladies of the night that are working in the daytime, the ladies of the night, prostitutes, jump in your van and try and get money off you. Yeah, so be wary of that, because sometimes they stay in your van and make you drive off to like Bagmore Lane near Normby Hall, that's really secluded, and then they get in the back of your van and then they won't get out the van until you give them like 20 Berkeley king size. Oh yeah, you heard me right. Berkeley king size, not fucking Barclay. Memorial Gardens, beautiful. Let's have a look round, come on. This is the second of the corners. Beautiful. All getting covered by conkers. Very nice, it's quite peaceful. Quite peaceful. Look, that's the park. Decent size. Decent size, it's clean. Happy days, just what you need. It's a haven in the middle of Scunny. And this is the third corner. Look at that, there's even like a tomb there. A statue without an head on. Read one of them, it was from 1892. That's just nuts, isn't it? But yeah, what a great place, and it's right on your doorstep if you live on West Street. Right, I'm off to Bagmore Lane, see you later.